So here's a look at the new TT Leagues platform before the webinar on Wednesday, starting with the login screen, and we'll tell you a little bit more about the login process at the webinar. Once we've logged in, we'll see the new dashboard, which has been amended following some feedback from the league administrators. So the announcements there on the top left. Below that, a list of tasks. That's what the system generates to let you know what's outstanding. On the right, you yourself can generate a to-do list and cross off tasks as you do them. Below that, a list of matches which are awaiting approval by the league administrator. And underneath that, some quick links which will go through to the results and fixtures and the list of teams within your own league. And finally, at the bottom, your messages in the email system and some statistics showing you who's visited the website. So first we'll have a look at the Manage tab, where we look at the setup of a league. And you'll see here a search area where administrators can search for players in their league, and all this data will be imported through the new membership platform, Sport80, where members will sign up and indicate which league they play in, and the administrators will only be able to search for members who have signed up for their leagues. And also under this tab you will see a list of clubs, which again will be imported through from Sport80. And what you can do, if you toggle on the switch in the top right, you'll be able to link a club to your league. You can scroll through the clubs, or again you can use the search function, and clicking on the link icon will make that club a part of your league. And if we go back to the previous screen, and these icons here will talk you through what those do as well. So this first one will show you all the members who are a part of that club. Again, a searchable list. And the second icon here shows the teams within that club. Actually, this first team here doesn't have any teams associated with it at the moment. The third icon is the edit icon, where you can see information about the club. Now, this is actually locked because it's the role of the club administrator to actually edit it, but the league administrator will be able to look there and see what the information is. We now go to the Teams menu under that same tab, and this will show a list of teams specifically associated with your league, and once again you can scroll through them all or use the search function. The button up in the top right is a quick add, where you can add a new team. That can be linked to a certain club as well within your league, so it might be the second team or the third team of that particular club. You can edit these teams as well, so set the location, the match night information, the details about who's captain. And you can also upload an image, so perhaps the team or the club in question has a badge which you want to apply to the profile of this team. There's a cropping tool which you can use to set the right dimensions and then apply and upload, and once that's saved you'll see there that it appears against the team name in the list. This will also associate with the app, which is going to be ready for the start of the season as well. Now you can add players to each team, so let's just populate this team here with a couple of other players. And once we've got that team populated, there's actually a drag and drop function so that they can be moved into ranking order, and that can be saved so that it can be used going forward for all the fixtures. So now looking at the venues menu, this shows a list of venues used by clubs within TT leagues, and once again you can link them to your league. So toggling on the list and then clicking on the link icon. And you can also add new venues if necessary as well. Perhaps a club moves to a new venue in the middle of a season or something like that, and you'll be able to add that into the system. Now we can move on to how we actually set up a competition. So this list shows competitions which already exist within the system, and you can also create a new one using this quick add function. So maybe a summer league or something like that. And then we can go in to edit the information for a particular league, including the start dates, and that's going to be used for fixture generation, which we'll come on to shortly. And then you can set the formats, and these are just a small selection of all the formats that are possible. These are the most common ones already added to the system. If your format is not there, we can easily get that added. You can set up the points system, usually 11 up, best of 5. Again, new formats can easily be configured, but what we've got here will cover almost all of the leagues currently playing. Here we can set up how we want the league tables to appear, so we could add points for and against columns if we want, or choose not to display them. And then here we can set the format that teams will play each other twice during the season. And then once that's saved, we can go into that particular competition and then add some divisions. So Division 1 going in here. As you can see, it's appeared down the left hand side. We can now add some teams to that division. And then as you select them from this list, they will then disappear, so they can't be added twice inadvertently. And we'll just populate this division with a few teams so that we can illustrate how certain things will work. There is also a drag and drop function, so we can set up an initial order, and this will help with fixtures generation. We can explain a little bit more about that during the webinar. And then using the grey plus button, we can assign a bye week, so that when the fixtures are generated, all the teams will have a bye week factored into their program. You can see that's added down the bottom. So there we've populated our division. And there we can see the league table, obviously with no points yet, but the initial setup. And then as we go into the fixtures page, we can click on this green button and that will generate the fixtures, and it takes just a few seconds for that to happen. And once it's finished, here is a list of all the fixtures beginning on the start date which we've already specified. And you can edit each fixture individually if you need to vary the date or the time or the venue. You can add skip weeks. And you can put in the reason for doing that. And then it will add a blank week in the fixture list and bump all the other dates down. And then we can also unschedule a fixture, and it's also possible to swap as well, so that the home team becomes the away team and vice versa. And we can also reset everything if we want to. We will get a warning just asking us if we're sure we really want to do that. So now if we look at one of the individual match cards, here is the basic information about that match, the teams taking part, the date, the venue. And this is how we input the players into the particular matches. So let's just set up a fixture here. So the names of the players going in, and once again they will disappear from the list once you have assigned them. That's picked up the format that has already been set. And you'll see it's populating below all the individual matches. So we can go into that and start inputting the scores, and if we input the lowest number, it will automatically generate, as you can see, the winning score. And just for illustrative purposes, of course, this is a rather one-sided match, but once we have all of those scores in, we can click on the submit button. And it's no longer editable at that stage. The cells are all locked. And then the approval stage follows. And you'll see up at the top you get the message on green there to confirm that that has been done. And then back on the fixture list, the match card icon there has gone green, and any partially completed results will actually show in orange. Any that are rejected by the system for any reason and need some work done on them will show up in black. If we then go back to the league table, you'll see that that has now populated with the updated standings based on that result. And that is the basic competition management. Now we can show you a little bit about editing the public website. So here's a list of articles which we can add new ones to or edit the existing ones, and this is also where we can set a publication date, time when the new story appears on the website, and we can add images to go with it. And we'll be able to say a bit more about this process during the webinar. It's fairly intuitive though, that you add images and information and a publication date, and it will then display as a news article on the public facing website. I'm just quickly here creating a new article. And once again we have a cropping tool where we can set the right dimensions for our images. So here is the public facing side of the website where you can see some of what we've been working on. So the latest news articles there, you can see the league table down the right hand side. Also space there for player averages. Maybe some information about the club sponsor. And you can link your own club Twitter or league Twitter feed. And maybe a gallery of featured images as well. And there's a menu at the top of this page where you can navigate to fixtures, results and tables. We'll be adding further functionality, as we've said, from September onwards, based on feedback from administrators after the launch date this July. So we look forward to the webinars now on Wednesday. We'll be able to answer your questions on the day as well. And the instructions you received with this video in the email will tell you how you can ask questions and also more information about how you join the webinar. Also, there is an admittedly whistle-stop tour of the new system. We are having the webinar, as I've said, on Wednesday, where we'll be able to give you a lot more information. But hopefully this video of 20 or so minutes will give you a full flavour of what you can expect from TT Leagues.